Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano with the Vasil hard fork expected to drop in June. We have a few more months of potentially rising prices ahead of us. We've seen that before ahead of other hard forks. Typically Cardano did pump quite a lot, and after the hard fork we then saw a dump. Yeah, basically just a correction. After an impulsive move up, we then saw the correction coming. Yeah, so that is typically what you see on the Cardano chart. The next hard fork is currently scheduled for June, and we already start to move up. But as I said in the previous videos, I'm still very careful. This does not yet, just because we're moving up here, does not necessarily mean that the low is already in. Okay, so my primary expectation so far still remains that we're coming down lower, and that is based on my expectation for Bitcoin. To be honest, we need to see now how Bitcoin is going to work out, what Bitcoin is doing, because Bitcoin is very close to the key decision point where we could see a decision about how Bitcoin is going to move in the next few weeks and months, and that will have an impact on Cardano, of course, as well. So for example, should Bitcoin get rejected at the 45.5K level or 46K, move down into my primary expected target area below 29K, then Cardano will pretty sure also move down again into this, and could then get down into that 55 cent area, that we talked about. If Bitcoin goes up first and goes into my alternative scenario target area around 55 to 65K before it comes down, then Cardano, in my opinion, could move up much higher, and could then, when Bitcoin finally moves down and crashes and corrects down, Cardano could potentially make a higher low. So in that scenario, the low could already be in for Cardano, but also in that drop, then I guess Cardano could come down significantly, and that would be a potential next entry point. So again, we need to see what Bitcoin is doing. Unfortunately, most altcoins are still very much connected to Bitcoin, including Cardano. They move on their own, they have their own wave patterns, but they still very much move together with the momentum of Bitcoin. So especially if there is a key tipping point that could decide on the fate of Bitcoin and the other altcoins in the next few weeks and months, we of course need to have both scenarios here on the radar. Nevertheless, Cardano moved up impressively since that low around 75 cents all the way up to $1 and I think it was 20, or $1.90, and has then been rejected. Told you that we have to have some sort of retracement. Nothing strong, to be honest, so far, but we are coming down a little bit. I told you yesterday that in a scenario where you stay below the trend line, you obviously are going to go down further. As soon as you see that trend line break, we can see some upside, and here we saw some upside from $1.10 all the way up to $1.14. I mean, this is not a sustainable move up yet. This could just be another lower high, and as you can see here, it's facing a little bit of resistance around the 114 mark, and it could correct down further. We just need to wait now. What is certainly very important is, as soon as you get, as I said before, as soon as you get back above that 114 level, that previous, and I think we see that on the 1 hour chart. Let me see. It was this high here that I mentioned. I think 116 it was, or here even that one, 114. As soon as you get above this previous rejection point, then you can expect here further upside and potentially that downtrend to be broken. I mean, the first sign that the downtrend is broken was that we moved above that trend line. That was the one that I mentioned in the last video when we were still below the trend line. As soon as you see this break, that could be a potential first indicator for a reversal again to the upside. But you also need to break the previous rejection point here at 114. That is exactly where we currently are. From here, obviously, if we see that 114 level break, you can move up to, in the next instance, 116, and then also here around 117 to 120. This is, of course, the really micro view. I necessarily don't really like to have that view because it is very volatile. It's a lot of up and down, needs a lot of management. But for the ones among you who like to do high frequency trading, that might be interesting. Interesting to see that we broke above that trend line again. So I also indicated that here with a red line in the last video. That was the first one where we passed above that previous support level where we retested first as a resistance, but then in the next attempt we moved higher. You also see now a W pattern here that also indicated another reversal here to the upside, and we're currently starting to move up here again. But next level for me that I would like to get above is 114, above which I would be much more confident that this potential, or that this retracement, what we did here, is already over, and that we are ready to start even, you know, another go to the upside, because that is important. We saw that retracement, that was necessarily because we saw Cardano was overbought. I think it, to be honest, still is overbought on the daily. The fact that Cardano found here support already very high on the RSI indicates that, yeah, it could really push even higher. But the question is then, how long can it hold that? I mean, it can hold that for a while. Should this really be a more sustainable move up? You can see that Cardano did hold that before for a month, that high level here. And it's certainly a good sign. I did mention in the last video that the RSI is higher than all the other fake outs before. And it also seems to be holding more than just a day in this area here at the moment. So it's a really good sign generally that shows Cardano's strength at the moment. And I know some of you waited for even lower prices, but I said in various videos that personally I would never wait for the lowest low. Dollar cost averaging in this range here was the absolute best strategy, because you're prepared for both scenarios, and with the potential price targets of at least $4.50, it doesn't in the end really matter if you buy at 75, if you buy at $1, if you buy at 50 cents, given that you would have an average purchase price anyway, and it would lie somewhere in the middle. And then, yeah, you could expect here something like a 5 to 10x potentially, depending on where the price really is going to land in the next major wave to the upside. So at the moment, really, really important to get above that 114 level. The retracement might already be done, but then again, if it gets rejected at that 114 level, the next support would again be here that $1.11, and then potentially even here that previous descending trend line resistance line could be flipped for support, but it could also move down on the other side, if you know what I mean. Okay, so far you have seen here lower lows, but then a first higher low, and now we start to see here potentially higher highs. It hasn't done a higher high yet, not compared to this one, and that is really the next level that I personally am watching out for. I bought again at my buy order level, that was $1.08, and again you can see how relevant that level again was. It was perfectly the low here, and that triggered automatically because I had my limit order set. So again, these buy orders are quite valuable. And again, if you want to see my buy and sell orders, you can check out the channel membership, where you can then find the buy and sell orders on Discord. Good, that's my view here on Cardano at the moment. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.